Level Up Latina partners with working women and mamas alike to guide them in achieving fulfilling career and life goals through financial empowerment, professional or leadership coaching, and personal wellness. Find the unique coaching you need to succeed.
You're listening to Vero, Ceci, and Irene, and we are Level Up Latina.
I don't know how.
Oh, yeah.
Le cayó when I was pouring it in.
I love that we're recording that because we are over here taking shots for an episode, and Ceci's choking on tequila plastic wrapper. Super random episode.
Super random episode.
Dry as bread.
And with that note, welcome to the September random episode 170. 170 y estamos grabando hoy, 16 de septiembre 2022.
Viva Mexico.
Viva Mexico. It's probably not going to air. It's not airing. Oh, well, it's airing till the last Wednesday of September. But here we are back at it after, our summer break. Of course, you got to listen to our summer series. Let us know what you thought about that. I know those were short and sweet, but they came from the heart and we love doing them. Now we've had 3 episodes, and now we're back to our random episode at the end of the month. So thank you for being here, chicas. Before we jump into our randomness, ¿cómo andan?
Saludcita. Andamos bien. Excited to be back. I'm just happy I can have a drink with you ladies because I'm no longer pregnant. I'm no longer planning to be pregnant. Thank you, Lord, for my 4 babies. De aquí en adelante, si you guys want to make it Refreshing Fridays, we can do that, okay?
I'm into it. Refreshing Fridays. I wish every Friday was Mexican Independence Day. I'm posting about it right now on social media so people that are watching can see the fun that we have behind the scenes on the podcast. We did a show earlier today. We had an awesome guest. And Ceci was the only one that managed to grab the tequila. So she had a drink for the 4 of us. Our moderator might be ahead of the buzz here, but we're super proud of her. Super down to drink for the 4 of us.
Thank you. I had my husband on it. So I text him. I'm like, hey, can you bring me some tequila? Earlier with our guest. I'm like, es mexicana. And, it was her idea. And aquí llegó con el tequila y con un little shot glass.
You should text him, tráeme la pistola. A ver qué hace.
Es mexicana. It was her idea.
It was her idea.
Then the next request, tráeme un condón.
Ay, Dios.
No, son los chicles de papi.
Los chicles de papi. Mm-hmm.
So it's 16 de septiembre. We tend to kind of celebrate it, not like en grande ni nada, but do you guys do anything durante estas fiestas? I know your hubbies just celebrated Guatemalan Independence Day yesterday, pero ¿qué celebraciones hacen ustedes, or do you do any during this time?
I think you have the most exciting story of where you went last night in terms of your celebrating. We don't tend to really celebrate, but we're definitely proud and have a lot of pride. If we're traveling and we're in one of those countries, then we're all about it. But we don't tend to do too much around the holiday, but we're super duper proud, no less.
Y ahora que soy casada, no. Usually I would go out for drinks and like, oh, this is when you really want to drink with Mexicans on Mexican Independence Day. We did fun stuff going to Vegas, Ceci. We used to do that and get drunk in Vegas for Mexican Independence Day, go to our concerts,
Yeah.
It's on the calendar for next year.
It's on the calendar for next year.
We're going to Vegas with all the couples, which
my
we are.
cuñada right now, Claudia and Horacio, my brother, are out there. They're going to be in Vegas with her parents, with my cuñada's parents, who are like party animals. They're like the coolest señores ever. Don Jorge sings like Chente, has his own twist to his voice, but still sounds like Chente. And they're going to be out in Vegas having a good old time for 16 de septiembre. So I'm a little jelly. But aparte de eso, I'm going to have this beer. My suegra made some caldo for the heat. Para que se nos quite el calor.
Typical Latina.
Mm-hmm. So that's going to be our celebration today. So my celebrating has kind of gone down a couple notches since having babies, but it's okay.
Yeah, pues así pasa cuando ya somos mamás and there's kids and, we can't go all out. But yeah, those were fun memories, like for us that we would go. I know I was thinking last night and I was counting. I was like, I think we went 3 years in a row where we, went to Vegas for Mexican Independence Day in our early to mid 20s. I think it was that when we'd go. And it was fun times. We, pues ya se imagina. No íbamos gambling. We were partying for sure. And we would go to concerts. We would go to Alejandro Fernandez. And in fact, I was watching his live yesterday. He was performing, and then I started scrolling through his Instagram page, and he's been doing this for 20 years. So he's been going to Vegas every 15 de septiembre es el concierto, and then el grito. And so he's been doing it for 20 years. And I was showing Luis, and I was like, oh my God. I'm like, see, this is like what I want to do. Like, this is what I want to do. I'm like, and we did it with our friends back then, the solteras, and it'd be cool for us to do it, with our couples, and it's going to be a great time. So it's on the calendar. Primero Dios, el año que entra estamos sanos y podemos ir. So that's the plan. Us, we do. I mean, we've been kind of celebrating for the last couple of years as much as we can. We've been doing like pozole. I think last year my mom was in Mexico, but last year I made chiles en nogada. My dad was here, and my Luis made my dad do el grito and like le puso su gabán. And I think we celebrated con tequila.
I remember that you sent us pictures.
Remember I sent it? Yeah. So we have like this old school doorbell, and it has like these like chimes or whatever up here. And so he told my dad to like bang on it every time he would say Viva Mexico. So that was pretty cool. And then the previous year we were actually in Mexico City, and una tía hizo un pozole super yummy, and I think we had been doing that with my parents, like prior year. We just go over, make pozole, comemos pozole, and that's it. But nothing like extreme, like when we'd go to Vegas. Y anoche, in fact, we had a date night, which was pretty cool. Luis planned it. We went to go see the San Francisco Symphony, but they were celebrating las fiestas patrias, and so they had, they were playing Mexican music. People, showed up. Some of them like dressed up in like, they're in su atuendo mexicano. Yo me puse like a little like Mexican shawl. And so primero it was like the symphony singing Mexican songs, and a singer who happens to be, she said that, she's like, oh, I don't know if you guys know, but Pedro Infante was my grandfather. We're like, oh shit. Se llama Lupita Infante. And I was like, oh, I didn't know who. So we started like searching her, and apparently she was like on La Voz Mexico. She went to UCLA, and that's where she grew up. So la empezamos a buscar. Anyway, she sang.
She was like, okay, Ernesto de la Cruz and Miguel.
I know. Y sí, pero sí, so cantó ella con la sinfónica, and then the sinfónica left. The second half, it was mariachis con ballet folklórico, and so it was a good time. It was definitely cool to see that here in the city, in La Sinfónica de San Francisco. And I think in front of City Hall, they did El Grito. We missed it, but because the event started at 7:30, and as we were arriving, they were setting up to do El Grito. So we actually missed it. I don't know, it probably was at 8 p.m. or something like that. Pero yeah, they were setting up City Hall. And what I was telling the girls offline was that City Hall actually celebrates the Independence Day of all like the Latin American countries that are celebrating like this week or during these days. Last night, the City Hall was lighted in blue and white in honor of Guatemala, El Salvador. And I'm assuming tonight it will be in red, white, and red, white, and green.
Ya le llegó el tequila.
Ya me llegó el tequila. Pero sí, it was cool. It was a good time. So looking forward to, hopefully celebrating next year, primeramente Dios.
It's really cool that San Francisco is such a cool city. We were just there, my husband and I, on Monday, and we were thinking about how cool it is. Like, San Francisco does such a great job, like killer in terms of inclusivity. It's just got such a rich history in that sense. So we stayed at the St. Regis, and across the street is the San Francisco Modern Art Museum. And there was a Diego Rivera exhibit that's going on that you got to catch, by the way. It's so freaking good. It is so, so good. And like next to that, like on the other side of the St. Regis is the African Diaspora Museum. And then across the way, they're working on a Mexican, like literally a Mexican museum. It's like the history of Mexico.
They've been working on it, pero luego the pandemic hit, and so no sé qué pasó. Pero yeah.
But talk about like being inclusive and incorporating like all cultures. Like that one corner, I felt like so much pride of being Mexican. It was really, really awesome. But thank you, San Francisco, and thank you to the St. Regis. Regis. That was a really good time.
Now they should just lower their rent costs, right? So they can really be inclusive.
I know.
People live there instead of kicking them all out.
Saliendo la gente de aquí. I mean, what's cool is that the Mission District is still so Latino. That's like where my office is at, and it's so Latino. It's like hay de todo, like de toda la comida latina que te puedas imaginar, que arepas colombianas o venezolanas.
Ceci, yes, I was eating there the day that I went. Del día que te invité to have drinks in St. Regis, I was actually in the Mission District having food from Guam. from Go On Girl.
Yeah,
And I literally, it was funny story. Diego works for a national nonprofit. And so we were looking up where the one that started was, because it started in San Francisco. And we're like, oh my God. And I'm not going to, this is totally giving it away, so I won't say too much. But the street that it started on, the reason it's named that is the street that you actually work on. I won't say the name of the street, but Diego, when you have that in common, I was like, oh my God,
wow.
legal aid is right here where this nonprofit also is. But you're right. It's like little Mexico, but little everything. The culture there was banging, like all the culture. I loved it. Beautiful. Great job, Mission District.
Yeah. Ceci, is that where the pupusas are that Walter and
probably, because ahí también hay una pupusería.
Delicious pupusas.
We would go so far for those pupusas when I went with Ada and Walter and all that. It's far into San Francisco.
I'll have to text her que cuál van ellos, because they probably know a better one, or know like the one, right? The
so bomb
place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, I miss Ada.
Oh, I miss her too.
Yeah, I'm gonna text her right now. We miss you.
A moment for you, Ada.
San Francisco.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you so much.
For sure.
And thank you to I'm telling you, like, I was leaving that restaurant and my car, Diego had parked the car, the rental car, like in just a random spot. There was nobody there. By the time we were leaving, there was a lady all set up ready with her pupusas. Like, I was like literally walking over the cortido bucket to like get into my car. Like, they looked and smelled delicious. But I was like, we just had this delicious food. So I guess I'm not having a pupusa. Anyway, beautiful place to live and work. Good job, Sissy.
Yeah, no, definitely. Speaking of food, I'm just kidding. Speaking of food, Vero was just having a pizza.
Oh my God, it looked like pizza, but it was like a burnt ass piece of focaccia bread. It was basil and mozzarella that I got from Costco, and I put it in the toaster oven for a little too long because I like it nice and warm because it gets soft and the cheese is nice and melted. But I overly cooked it. Don't usually do it, but I was distracted trying to get back to set up for the podcast y todo. So me comí un crunchy focaccia bread that almost broke my dientes. So I'm trying to eat everything I can crunchy. And, or that's hard because I'm afraid to be eating anything next week, in a week or two. It's next week, the 28th. I'm getting 2 crowns. I have a cracked muela. And then one of my other molars has like something else in it. So it's not a cavity, but it's just like, she's like, it's safer to get a crown than to let your tooth get worse. So I'm going down for that. So women, please, chicas, whoever's listening to this podcast, if you haven't been to the dentist in the past 6 months, if you haven't been to the dentist in the past year, please go. For me, my dental situation gets really weird when I'm pregnant. And I think, for most women, for most women, I mean, I had never really had any issues, and I had 2 root canals recently, and they both been after my pregnancy, during or right after my pregnancy. So please go to the dentist, whether you have kids or not. Like, make sure you go for your cleanings every 6 months. Make sure you're checking your teeth. That is also health. Like, if you don't have teeth, trust me, your mental health, not your mental health, your health in general deteriorates. And it's also going to affect you mentally because you're not going to be looking too good. Your bones start to deteriorate here in your jaw. It's bad. So please take care of yourself. Your teeth are such an essential part of your health. So cuídense.
Aunque te dé flojerita, go in there, go brush your teeth at night, floss them. And speaking of the 28th, so our listeners are going to be listening to this on the 28th while you're getting your procedure. So le mandan buenas vibras.
Getting drilled in a very non-fun way. Siempre. If it's not food, it's sex, right, guys?
For sure.
Correct.
Pero pues, by the time our listeners listen to this, we would have already had our breakthrough brunch. So that's exciting. That's coming up. We're super pumped that it's going to be our first in-person event post-COVID. So, primeramente Dios, ahí vamos a estar, or ya habremos estado celebrando con ustedes. The other fun thing that happened was that we got featured on Apple Podcasts this month again in honor of Latino or Latine Heritage Month. So how cool is that? Qué honor y qué padre that, our stories are being heard and being featured.
So cool. So excited. Second time running with Apple. So thank you, Apple, for noticing what we do. So if anybody is looking for us, you can obviously find us on that section under La Sala de Inspiración, which is really cool. There's other really cool podcasters on there. There's a lot more. I remember the first time we were featured, it wasn't so many of us, maybe like a handful of us, 15 of us. Now there's like, I don't know, a list of maybe 40. Maybe less, but it was really cool to see all the different angles that we've already got so much content now that they could even create like the subsections of content to like kid focused or women focused, right? Or inspiration like ours. So that was really, really cool.
How cool is that, ladies? Like, we are part of La Sala de Inspiración. And so thank you, Ceci. Thank you, Irene, for also being, like, for all of us being able to share our stories, like Irene said, and those people that are listening. But who would have thought, right? Who would have thought that us doing this podcast would really have brought in some inspiración to the listeners? So thank you, listeners, for your constant support and for your feedback and for giving us kudos and for giving us just like your honest opinion as well when you write to us. So you have really helped contribute to the success of our podcast. Se les aprecia.
Yeah, totalmente. Because I know that when we started with our podcast, I personally didn't know much about podcasts. I hadn't really listened to any, to be honest. And so I didn't really know what, the whole concept. Y ahora, 3 years in, it's like 170 episodes in. It's like, it's like something that we look forward to, something that we share. Like, we're vulnerable, we cry, we laugh, So qué padre que podamos, que podemos compartir nuestras historias, and then the fact that we're being, recognized in this platform. So felicidades, muchachas. Anything else? I know it's been a while. So it's been a while because, again, we recorded our summer series all like in a weekend, basically in the early summer. But so it's been a while since we've actually recorded, sat down and chatted. I know our kids are all back in school.
Let's do our Life in a Minute, like we did.
Life in a Minute.
At our reunion, but Irene didn't get to be a part of that day.
Oh,
and
that's right.
Today, that will be our question. What, Life in a Minute, catch us up. What did we do our life in the summer in a minute? Okay. Or, as long as you need. No, not necessarily a minute, but just kind of catch us up. Let's catch up our listeners en lo que ha pasado. And, ¿pasado?
Pasado. Es la
Joder, ¿qué me pasa hoy? La madre tierra está peleando a México.
Dude, te salió Liz hace rato también. I noticed it.
Yes, I get it. So
Pero maybe maybe your roots, you were the colonizer.
No, don't worry. My husband has definitely told me I'm the colonizer. Thanks. Many times. We got into so many discussions. Especially, let's not even go there.
You oppressed all of us.
I am the oppressor. I'm so sorry. I apologize for my peoples, to your peoples. But now I have assimilated your culture, and I feel like I am part of you. Thanks. Yeah, but for those colonizers, hey, well, that's one thing that happened. The Queen died, right? Of England. Not Latifah, not, Ashanti. Did you guys see that meme?
Hill.
Lauryn Hill?
Yeah, we saw it.
The Queen of London, Adele. So, yeah, that's one thing that happened. So who wants to, Ceci, you're moderating, but you let us know who wants to take it off.
Well, that happened. I don't know much about the monarchy, but I was like questioning. I was like, wow. I was like, what? Well, why? I started watching The Crown or whatever on Netflix to kind of get a little bit of the history. But I'm not like on it. I'm just like, oh, let me watch a little bit. But yeah, eso pasó. Fine. I'll take over and I'll just kind of give my brief, like 1 minute summary. So we went to Mexico. That was lots of fun. That was in August. We went for like 2.5 weeks. We started in Cabo. We had never been. That was cool. That was fun. And then we went on to Mexico City. We stayed with family. And like the Mexico City portion of it was more kind of like, I don't know, I guess like relaxing, because there was days that were like, well, let's just chill back and like just be here with family and eat. And then go to the spots that we wanted to go. Like we wanted to go eat at like our favorite restaurants. In fact, I just posted something yesterday because I was like hungry and I was like looking at pictures from our trip, and I posted like a bunch of like meals that we had in Mexico. And then so anyway, going back to that, we just went to all our favorite restaurants that we love in Mexico City. And then Luis wanted to go to Puebla. So we went to Puebla, and I had been once, but it had been many years ago. And this time it was really cool. We enjoyed it. We stayed at this cute little boutique hotel, who that's also known for its like kitchen and its restaurant and its mole. And so we ate there, of course, and we had los famosos chiles en nogada that I just learned that that's where they started in Puebla. And it was a delicious meal. The girls had a pool time, and we came back, and I just had energy to, do my job, to, do come back at like come back with podcasting, and just starting the fall, which has been hectic to say the least, but we knew that was gonna happen. So, ¿quién ¿Quién quiere seguir?
I'll take it away because mine's like a different kind of highlight, the highlight reel. So I don't want to be the downer in the family. The Debbie Downer. No, my summer, well, as many of you know, I was pregnant. So I finally had my baby. I had my baby. She was born July 10th. Maura Leonorcita. She is, beautiful little girl. She's the perfect addition to our family. A couple days after I gave birth to her, I got discharged, got back home. And under 24 hours, I was back in the hospital. Went to the ER, then in the ICU. It was just blood pressure related. I didn't think of it being a big deal, but it turned out it was. And the reason I didn't think it was a big deal was because I wasn't having any symptoms, but it turned out that what I was having was a very unique situation with my blood pressure. And the scary part was that I didn't have symptoms, which wasn't making me run to the ER or ask for help. So that's why I'm like even PSA in the sense of even if you don't feel sick, go to the doctor, get yourself checked out. Outside of that, it's been really cool. The kids, it was a little bit of an adapting period because I was in the hospital for almost a week until they were able to stabilize me. And just getting back, I was away from the baby. I would see her probably an hour and a half a day, if that, but I was pumping and I wouldn't see the other kids. I didn't see, my other 3 kids when I got home. Where I was ready to be with them, but the little one, Archie, was in the ER because he caught this stomach bug. And then that stomach bug went to Joaquin and to Gali. So all the kids were sick at one time and I couldn't be with them because I was with the newborn. So it was really hard. It was a very challenging first couple of weeks. And then just recently we had COVID. Not we, but mostly, Archie and my husband. And my husband got it because he was the one caretaking for little Archie. So it's just been a really tough time in that sense, adapting. But we did have some highlights. We were able to go take the kids. We did a beach day. We finally did a beach day actually last week that we had been promising them. But the summer had been so crazy for us that we were not able to get away. So we did a beach day before the heat wave went away. So we could say we did that heat wave. We went to the beach. We got, nos refrescamos, and the kids loved it. So we did that. We went to Disney a couple times. We got the pass. So Gali and Otto's pass events in October. So we're like, let's put in some dates to go out there and just make use of it, since we live so close by. So we got a couple passes, a couple days at Disneyland in there. So the kids love it. They always love to go. And I'm glad that as of now, they don't feel like, it's Disney again. They're still super excited. They love going. They have such a good time. So that's been really, really great. We did a couple other family things. It was a good summer. And then the kids started school. So Gali started officially TK. She went into school now. And she loves it. She has not fought us in the morning. Outside of just like, estoy cansada. She gets up, puts on her little uniform, and it's the cutest thing. She doesn't go to private school, but the public school now requires them to have a uniform. So I'm like, that's kind of better than having to worry about, let's wear something different every day. So I went to private school. I love the uniform idea. I dig it. I'm with it. So she loves wearing her uniform. She loves going to school. She has little friends. She doesn't know all their names, but she already draws pictures of all of them. Igual de chongudas todas, con las colitas. Joaquin loves his little school too. He's doing the preschool where Gali used to go to. And he's like, came back home one day. He's like, I have a friend named like my grandpa, como mi papá Aureliano. Like, well, you have a friend named Aureliano. He's like, yeah. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. And the next day I went to pick him up. I saw the name was Emiliano. Girl, I was like, Joaquín, se llama Emiliano tu amiguito. Se me hace que se llama Emiliano. Le said, no, tiene 2 nombres, mami, como yo. Se llama Emiliano Aureliano, okay? I'm like, okay, you go ahead. You go ahead and name him whatever you want. No llegaron diciendo James and broccoli, unfortunately, but
No.
remember that? But it's been good. So having the kids right now, I have Archie mostly throughout, the whole day, and Maurita. It's been a really good, it's nice to have that little time with them while Gali and Joaquin are away. So when they get home, it's not like, oh shoot, now I have to give all of them attention. I like spend time with Gali. She'll nap while I'm nursing. So she'll come like lay next to me and take the nap next to me while I'm nursing Maura. And then Joaquincito, he loves that. He's like, Mommy, can we do this? And he likes to, practice his numbers with like me next to him. So I try to like dedicate some time to them, but that schedule is trying to get figured out still because llegan todavía moody a veces. And, they're just being kids, learning how to be out in the real world. So that's been special, and seeing the world through their eyes now that they're seeing so many different things. But yeah, that's been my life in a minute and a half or two. So it's been nice. And we celebrated 3 years of being married, my husband and I. And it wasn't a big celebration. It was an in-house celebration.
Bravo.
But I'm glad we made it to 3 years, and I hope we make it more. I hope we get there to celebrate 10 and 15, 20. Todos viejitos y arrugados juntos. So.
Primeramente Dios.
Primeramente Dios, sí.
Good segue. My husband and I have 2 wedding anniversaries. So our summer is our religious one. So we just celebrated 9 years since that wedding. Time freaking flies. Neither one of us could believe it. That was 9 years ago. So we were talking about it with the kids last night because they were asking about that and trying to do the calculations, how long we've been married. I think my kid, the middle one, understands sex or whatever. So she was like, wait, how long have you been married exactly? When was Isaiah born exactly? What's it? So I was being real vague. But anyway, that happened this summer. We celebrated in Cabo. We tend to try to pick one of them to celebrate away. And this year we got to do both, which was nice. I was in Australia for work this summer. So that's really cool. Also kind of pleasure. I could go anywhere, really. So I picked something really off the wall, but it was super, super, super effective. And I think I'll go to those World Business Forum conferences from now on. They have them all over the world. Madrid, Bogota, London, New York, Miami. No, not Miami, just New York. There's only one in the US. But anyway, next time I'll probably do it in Madrid so I can take some of our staff with me and be really fun, Europe trip with the staff. So that's been really fun. My book came out, which is really cool. I have spent a lot of time, this is random, but a lot of times at Knott's Berry Farm in Disneyland, not my typical. But yeah, we had season passes. So we did a lot of Knott's Berry Farm trips this summer. I had a awesome surprise birthday party for my mama with mariachi. She has been on a cloud ever since. Super happy, super grateful. My family really rallied together, which is nice to do things for her for that party. And she really has been a kid in a candy store, proud of it, happy. It was a quinceañera kind of thing. And she happened to wear this awesome, Mexican, typical, kind of dress. Era un vestido, but it really wasn't. It was a 2-piece, but she made it work. But it was really sweet because she had no idea the concept was Mexican fiesta.
Yeah,
it's funny because
¿cómo le hicieron para que
great,
eso?
Great, random, turn of events. My niece was I want to decorate for you. And she's was a 4th grade teacher, and her mom was super crafty. And I'm of course you can. I'll give you money. So then a few weeks before the event, she's what do you think about this concept? She's it's not appropriation because we're Latinos. So it's Mexican fiesta.
Yeah.
And I'm I love it. So then I sent it to my florist. Shout out to St. Rose Flowers. They do a really great job. They do everything perfect. So what is their handle? At Saint.Rose. Anyway, I sent her the image. And so she did these really beautiful Mexican arrangements. And I sent the image to my sister. So she got a really beautiful Mexican arrangement kind of cake. So it all came together. So funny enough, because my brother knew obviously about our party. He's ¿Qué se va a poner? ¿Qué se va a poner? And he's no sé qué ponerme. And he was the one that was you should put that shirt on I brought you from so-and-so, from wherever place in Mexico. Aren't you guys going to go listen to mariachi? She thought we were going to a restaurant that I always take her to listen to mariachi. Yeah. He's she's good idea. It's been so hot. I'll wear it with the skirt. So my brother played his part, y'all. He played his part. He took her to get her nails done 2 days before. I went to dye her hair 3 days before. But again, she didn't know. He was by the way, mom wants to dye her hair. Talk to her. If you talk to her long enough, she'll bring it up. And then you can, he was totally playing his part. So that was the highlight of my summer because I've always wanted to do something like that for my mom, have her mariachi, surprise her, have all her kids show up. Everyone showed up. All of her kids were here. 2 grandkids were missing. One because she lives in Chicago and one because he just worked really late. So we were giving him a hard time. We saw him the weekend before and the weekend after, and we were giving him a hard time. But that was a beautiful, beautiful part of my summer. Boom.
It looked beautiful. It looked beautiful. And I'm so glad you got to do that for your mommy. That's such a it's an achievement, that's something that you're I did this. I wanted to do it. I was able to pull it off, and I'm something to be very proud of. I'm so happy for you. That's great.
Yeah, and my poor husband. I threw a surprise party for him too, but I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
No, you said
forget
it.
about that. He was there, but we did it for my mom. She was the big one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you threw the Diego's birthday surprise birthday. Earlier in
the month before. Yeah. So those 2 were pulled off. No one found out. I was nervous for both, but everybody had a good time. So it was a celebration of life this summer.
Qué bueno.
It's beautiful.
Se lo merecen. Se lo merecen for sure. ¿Qué más les quería preguntar? So I had it at the tip of my tongue and I forgot what else I wanted to ask about in this random episode, pero se me fue. Anything else that you guys want to chime in about?
No, I just realized that my son really loves hamburgers, cheeseburgers. Joaquin's been Dad, grill burgers. So we grill burgers and he's ¿y el queso? And he has a little bit of a lisp. I mean, how mine comes out. I'm like my mom. I was just thinking about it. My mom will have a little list come out sometimes. Yeah. Y de vez en cuando se le sale a Joaquín. He'll be like, queso. Quiero queso. And I'm like, what? And he'll say the cute little things. So anyway, yeah, it's been a hamburger summer with our children. And I'm like,
that
that's
sounds perfect, though. That sounds delicious. It's like the summer that Luis was grilling all summer. That sounds perfect.
I know, yeah. Yeah, ahora se compró, speaking of that, ahora se compró un smoker, like a egg smoker. And he tried it out 2 weeks ago, and he like smoked, I don't know, some piece or chunk of meat. And, those dino ribs, like están unas así, grandísimas, and le salieron buenas. So he wants to do it again, and that's why my suegros are here. Actually, they're here already, and he's gonna do it again on Sunday, and he's excited about it. And so we kind of we were calling it, I guess, a celebration for him, because now he's transitioning into his new role as a research scientist. That's what he is.
There you go.
Yeah. Wait, he did it. He was interviewing. Where did he?
That was the update on that.
Kaiser. He stayed.
He stayed.
Kaiser.
Okay.
And so he got moved into that role, which I guess a lot of folks in his role, a lot of fellows, like they have to do like staff sciences first, pero no, él lo promovieron allí directamente. So he's excited. And so we're like, oh yeah, this is a celebration for you. And then I forgot what else we're celebrating. I forgot. He's like, oh, we can celebrate to you that you got promoted earlier in the year. I'm like, no, it's fine. I forgot what else, something else we were going to celebrate también. We're like, all right, let's like call it the celebration this for this upcoming.
Ceci, you had a summer, anniversary too, right?
What did I do? Oh, wedding. The wedding anniversary. Yes.
Yeah, you have a summer wedding.
I did.
You guys pues de chismosa en el social media, because that's something I could see.
No me acuerdo.
Were you traveling for that? Or no, Cabo was after that?
Cabo was after that. What the hell?
I think it's on a date night.
We went to a famous steakhouse. No, because you wanted to have cake, remember? Or something.
Oh, yeah. So the actual day of, we just went out for coffee or whatever, because it was like on a Monday and we had like a busy day. But then like a week or two later, when the girls were off already for the summer and they were at my suegros, we went out to the big steakhouse that's famous, and it's like old school, but it's like they have really good martini. It's called the House of Prime Rib. So it's yummy and delicious. That's what we did, and we celebrated there, and yeah, that's what we did.
And what we need to do is rename this the Random Food Episode. That's going to be our monthly Random Food Episode. What can we talk about plus food?
Plus, you know what I liked? I liked what we did last time around for the random episode, or during the summer, where like Vero was just asking us random questions. I like that. That was cool too.
That was a good
very
one.
Cool. That was very fun. I'll prepare ones for my next random one. Que me toca in October.
In October, yeah.
Oh my God, this year it's going by so fast already. That's the usual thing, right, with the year. The beginning starts off, like January takes 3 years to get to February, and then February, March, and April is another 3 years, and then you're like, what? It's, May, June, the summer flies by, and then I'm like, it's almost the end of September, even though it's the middle of September, and the holidays are here. It's insane.
The holidays are upon us. I have like a little to-do list of all kinds of things that I need to do, and one of them is like Halloween costumes. I'm like, oh my God, I have to be on it. But I actually thought of a question, speaking of like, just throwing out questions, but a question for all three of us to answer is like, how is your fall gonna look like? Fall into winter, like what? I know it's like, oh my God, shit, like Halloween is upon us. Oh my God, we have to do this, Thanksgiving, Christmas. But what are things that you guys are looking forward to as the year comes to an end? Irene.
I'm gonna go to Mexico, which is nice. I'm going to Guadalajara. My niece had this idea to do the tequila train that goes from Guadalajara to Tequila, Jalisco. So 6 of us are doing that, which is really fun. I'm going to stay for a little longer. We're going to do like European vibe. So we'll be in Guadalajara, and then 3 of us will go to Sayulita and to the beach during the week. And then the following weekend, I'm going to visit our comadre Lisette and be there for her daughter's first communion. So that'll be really fun. Exactly a month from now, actually, because that communion is, I think, on the 15th, right? So exactly a month from now, we'll be doing that to kick off fall. We'll be doing some traveling and visiting our comadre in Mexico and just revisiting our youth. You know how fun she is.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, hace loca. Sigue con sus loqueras.
No sé dónde agarrar energía, be yourself. And that's one thing I think it's beautiful that Lisa, it's like, sea lo que sea, like she is a successful businesswoman, entrepreneur, like doing it big, and she is who she is. She's not like, I'm not going to change who I am. Le encanta lo bueno, vive la vida bien como ella la quiere vivir. And, Dios quiere la guarde because she's one of those. Because, she's like, I'm doing my thing. And
beautifully, successfully.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I'm pumped. My nephew wanted to fly out Sunday at 6 a.m. and the party, her daughter's party, is like that Saturday. And I was like, oh, no. Like, this is the set we're talking
need to
about.
be there.
You will still be partying at Sunday at 6 a.m. She's like, love it. He's like, love it. So he's now coming back at 10 o'clock that night. And I'm not coming back till Monday because it was like, yeah, no, I need a whole day to recover from having partied with her. So that's how that's going to go.
Yeah. I'm like, that's if he makes
What about you? What's your fall vibe? What's you looking forward to this fall, Vero?
My fall vibe is kind of getting more in the flow of having my kids in school. Potentially, Otto will be back at work. And I'll be full on with the kids leading this 4-kid life now. And
Good life.
4-kid life.
Did he get his job too? Weren't both of them interviewing for jobs?
He has an offer on the table. And he really is waiting to hear back. He has an in-person interview, and the VP of that company is going to be in town from North Carolina this Monday. So he's going to be meeting up with them. So depending on how it goes there, he either goes with them or he goes with the company that has a offer on the table. And this company is a great company as well. And they were willing to wait for him. Like, okay, we'll wait. How long do you need to find out from this other place? And he's like, it's going to be a couple weeks. Like, fine, we'll give you the month. Take your time and get back to us as soon as you know about that offer. So it's really cool. He's looking forward to getting back to work and really doing what he loves to do. So that's going to be exciting because then I have to adapt into, I don't have his help. And we were talking about earlier in our podcast in the month, how our partners really contribute so much. And I think Otto did a really good job right now that he was away from work and really helping out with the kids. So he's very much like, let me know, things are on the calendar. We laughed about it one of the last times on the podcast, about how he wasn't on the invite. And he was like, are you sure you have something going on? Like, what's going on? So anyway, looking forward to adapting to the 4-kid life and just getting life going because the kids are doing swim. Gali's going to start a little dance class and, these activities. And am I going to keep my nanny that I was trying out? Am I going to try somebody else? Because I really need someone that could drive as well in case I can't. But I'm looking forward to seeing the family. Everyone's been so busy, doing things that I really can't. I'm looking forward to the holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas because we all get together and have our dinners and catch up. And I'm looking forward to that. And then we're doing a fun family trip in December, Disney cruise with the kids for Christmas. We won't be able to take Maurita because you have to be 6 months to go on the boat. On the ship, so she won't be going, but we'll be spending some good one-on-one time with the 3 older kids, and we're looking forward to that. Like us relaxing, and it'll be relaxing because we're gonna have shared custody of the kids with like my suegra, my cuñada's going, her wife, and their 2 daughters as well. So it's gonna be a really cool little trip just to get out there and have fun. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to in the holidays. So it's a good one.
And you don't have to move. You were going to move with one of his jobs. You had.
Oh, yes.
Both of you were maybe moving. Thank God nobody's moving.
Yeah, no,
Nobody's moving. Thank you. Yeah.
No, we're staying in the LA area. Compton mom for life.
Mother of Compton.
Mother of Compton forever.
Hey, and is he going to work remote or is he going to work in the office?
It would be kind of like 75-25. So 25% travel, 75% at home.
What about Luis' home office?
Yeah, still home. He's finally getting in his office because he had a cubicle, and he's pretty excited about that actually because he's like, this is the first time that I have an office. He's like, I've always had a cubicle. As a dietitian, he had a cubicle. Obviously, as a PhD student, he just had a cubicle, and he's like, he was really excited about the office, and he was like he was given options about like, he was showing me, he's showing me videos like, look at you, like, well, this, pero qué esto, la gente que se siente aquí cerca, like, they talk a lot, so I don't know if I'm down with that, no sé qué tanto. And I was like, he's like, sorry that I'm annoying you with this talk. I said, but this is a big deal for me, like that, I'm getting in this office, like I've never had one. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, like I didn't, at first I was like, I guess he saw that I was getting annoyed con la plática, but I was like, no, qué bueno, I'm like, qué padre, okay, I'm like, you know what, because of this, I'm like, qué padre, sorry, I'm like, I don't know, I guess I hadn't thought about it.
You didn't have that perspective. You didn't have his perspective.
So he's excited about that. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so Mondays, he's going to go to the office, but because he just wants to like step away from home because he says that ya se cansó de estar aquí en la casa, básicamente él solo. And I know that when the pandemic started, we're like, oh, that's cool, working from home, but it could get, tiring, draining. Like, I know Mondays for me, I'm like, ay, ¿por dónde empiezo? ¿Qué hago? Like, or like, let me get started. But then like, oh, let me do my, Level Up Latina email. And like, so I think it's hard, but it's doable. Like if you carve out time, like de aquí a esta hora voy a hacer solamente eso and stick to it, because I know, because I'm guilty of it. I look and I'm like, shit, tengo que ir a meter a lavar ropa. Déjame ir a hacer eso. Y luego me distraigo en otra cosa. So it's like hard and it's tiring. Whereas like if you go to the office, sabes que nomás estás haciendo eso, So
no, I agree. I think getting into the office feels good, and then the people feel good. Like that vibe, the energy. I do like the office energy for sure because I feel it feeds me.
Yeah.
But then I also think that I'm pretty good about focusing at the house, no matter what's going on, the kids, the dogs, blah, blah, blah. But Diego's like, you're really good at that. He's like, I need to be separate. Like his office is in the garage for a reason. He está entrado y enfocado, but his office couldn't be in the bedroom. Like he's just like you, I guess, like I gotta do this and I gotta do this and I gotta do that. So I think I can work in like the kitchen table and like zone out the whole world. Granted, I'll like have music on or like a headphone on, but yeah, I can definitely sit wherever. But the office is a different vibe. When I go to my office, it's definitely a different vibe and I like it. I do like going to the office for sure.
Yeah.
I think Otto prefers the office, and I think I would prefer the office for him. I think he'll be more productive and kind of like, just do your thing. Just do your thing. Let me do my thing.
Right.
But also because your kids are little. Like your kids are little, so they're going to call your attention. Ellos no entienden. My kids are like, oh, sorry, mom, and they leave you alone when they're little. It's so hard because pobrecitos, like, like Vero, you were trying to kick yours out earlier and he cried. He was like, well, homegirl, I'm trying to talk to you about whatever you try to talk to you about, right? Like they don't
He's like, it's 11.
Yeah.
¿Sabes de la hora?
I know.
Ay, sí, cierto. Eso fue en la mañana.
En la mañana. It's all good.
Pero sí, I think for me, what I'm looking forward to for this fall is just, I don't know, I guess continuing what we're doing with our podcast, growing our company, and then also, going the extra mile, like growing in like getting, more, I don't know, like more features, like growing our podcast, because I know that's something that we love. So continue this growth that we've had. También family wise, just like Halloween and, and like the Christmas time. I know, last year we started going to like go see the Nutcracker and like, continuing that
establishing your traditions.
I was establishing the traditions. I was already looking for tickets for the Nutcracker, and I was like, okay, let me see a cuánto están. Let me see qué días hay disponible. And that's a tradition that I actually started with my oldest niece and nephew, que ya están grandotes, dan 16 años, and I would take them every year from like when they were 5 to no me acuerdo ahorita, but anyway, the last time that I went was like the year that we got married, so that was 7 years ago. That was the last time that we went together, and then we got pregnant, and then things got busy, and then I couldn't take the girls because like they have an age requirement. So we talked about like taking the girls this year finally to like the big Nutcracker, like the San Francisco Ballet. And so that's the plan. And so I told Luis, I'm like, I want to take Tasha and Gio, but I don't know if they're going to want to hang out with me, like right now, because they're like the cool teenagers or whatever. And so I texted them yesterday. I was like, I want to go. Do you guys want to go to the Nutcracker this year? They didn't, they were in school, I guess, when I texted them, and los dos me pusieron que sí, and I'm like, okay. So yeah, I'm like, I'm not the fun, cool tia taking the niece to Bad Bunny. Diana took Tasha to Bad Bunny 2 days ago.
Pinche Diana.
On a school night.
She's the cool
wish she was my tia.
Yeah, I know, she's a cool tia. I'm not the cool tia. I'm like, oh, let's go on a non-school
You're the intellectual
night.
tia.
Intellectual tia on a non-school night.
Sophisticated tia.
Yeah.
Sophisticated.
Yeah, pero.
So Sasha had her quinceañera at Sweet 16? Is that
Sweet
what you had?
16, because last year she only had a birthday party. She had said que no quería quinceañera. Tasha no quería quinceañera, and then kind of last minute last year, like 2 weeks before her 15th birthday, she told her mom she wanted a quinceañera. She's like, dude, it's in the middle of COVID, I can't plan a quinceañera. So they threw something, and we didn't go because we had already like planned to go camping that weekend. And so then this year they wanted a party, and so and it ended up being like a sweet 16, and it was cool, and that was actually, yeah, that was one of the things I did this summer. It was like the weekend before we left to Mexico City, and it was nice, and it was like, you know, she danced el vals, lo bailó con Manny, my brother, and then with Gio, her cousin, and then her other cousin on the other side. So that was kind of cool to see, and just like, I'm like, oh, I can't believe they're freaking so grown already. So anyway, I was telling Diana, I'm like, those were my original twins, because when Gio and Tasha, they were like only 20 days apart. When they were born, I would dress them like, I would dress like the boy version of like the outfit, and then the girl version of the outfit, and then take pictures of them, and like ahí estaban siempre, you know, the babies. And then the joke is like, yeah, you were like, you called like tú con tanta foto y tanta cosa, por eso you like called those twins y te llegaron a ti twins. So,
Los ovarios listened.
Aha, there you go. So my original twins are 16. Ya manejando.
Wow. I just thought about it. Gali's going to turn 5. Gali will be 5 this October.
I know. Tienes 10 años, mija.
TK is the best. I'm so glad she loves it. That's so cool. Awesome. Good for her.
10 años para que ahorres para los 15. So, do you think Sophie va a querer 15? ¿Quinceañera?
I don't think so. It's not really common. We don't go to a lot of them. I mean, maybe if we end up going to one, I don't think so. We'll probably do like a big sweet 16 gift or something. Isaiah has his permit. He's supposed to be getting his driver's license soon because he just turned 16 as well, but we'll see how that goes.
¿Sabes qué? A lo mejor, ya que se vaya acercando, a lo mejor otras amigas a lo mejor van a tener, o a lo mejor, you know, que tú le empiezas a platicar que you had one, and like, you know, how you felt. A lo mejor cambia de opinión.
Yeah.
¿Sabe? Pero
yeah. It's just, there's like, yeah, my kids are like asking to go on trips, but es un busque, you know.
Es lo que les has enseñado.
Yeah, he was telling me when I got back from Australia, like, you know, Mom, I'd love to go to Greece. I'd love to go to Italy. Like, I think those are my next top 2. And then like maybe Australia. And I'm like, oh my God, these kids are too funny. And Isaiah all the time says, I would want to go to Italy, but I would want it to be the south of Italy. I'm like, este chiquillo, like, el que sabe, right? But yeah, he wants to go to London, and he'd love to like study in London for summer. So I think that I see them both sort of asking for something like that if they would want a big gift or a car. Like, I'd see them being before a party, but I could be wrong. I think, like you said, when their friends do stuff, like maybe it'll influence them, but I see them mostly saying, you know, a trip or a car.
I mean, usually it'd be like our parents, like, we didn't ask for it. They just gave it to us. Ándale, cabrona, vas a ir a ver con todos tus primos el vals y ponte tu vestido de quinceañera que te compré, even though you went to take the measurements. But this is something for us, like to celebrate you becoming a woman, but this is something for us. It was like their party. So kind of do that, like, okay, Sophie, we've got you the dress, we got you the shoes, and get to dress up, girl.
We're having a party. We're having a party.
Yeah.
No, my mom was like, what do you want, a car or a quinceañera? And I thought to myself, I knew it. And I was like, she wants quinceañera. I was like, I'll take the, I said, she'll get me the car. Like, she wants to have quinceañera, but she'll get me the car. So I was like, I'll take the quinceañera. And a year later, she got me the car. My mom would spoil the crap out of me, como pudo, you know? Like, she worked her freaking butt off to do it. But she was like, I'm doing both things. So she was amazing.
Bless her heart. A mí no me preguntaron, pero yo, I was always like that kid that wanted my quinceañera. Like, it was like, desde niña, like, this is what I want. And I had like I had a book for it, like organizing my quinceañera like a year before.
Hashtag you would.
Yes. Ceci would.
Yeah, Ceci would.
Yeah.
Ceci would.
Yeah. So, quién sabe, con las mías, pues, but no sé si van a querer. I mean, I know that they got excited after seeing Tasha's quince, and then right now, I guess after I posted photos, me empezaron like on my feed, me empezó a salir fotos y videos de quinceañeras. And so when I'm with the girls, like, I'll show them, and ahora les gusta ver, like, oh, can we see that picture? Oh, yo quiero un vestido así, or de ese color, and stuff like that. So they get excited. So quién sabe.
You should be like, you guys are going to share your dress. You for half the day, you for the other half.
I know, right? I know. Lo bueno es que, I know, I was telling Diana the other day, I was like, no, I'm like, si las niñas quieren quinceañera, I'm like, lo bueno es que they're only like 3 months apart with con Zuli, su chiquita. I'm like, we can split the party. Okay. So, anyway.
Yeah, que todo sale bien caro, pero vale la pena.
Sí, vale la pena, pero sí, está caro, y I feel like nosotros ya que pues entendemos un poquito más, and we're better at like managing party, like, we're like, okay, no vamos a gastar como lo que gastaríamos en una boda en unos 15 años, pero algo más leve, you know. And I feel like our parents didn't have that mentality. They querían aventar la casa por la ventana. Yo según iba a hacer ejercicio right after this episode, and I forgot that was my intention, and acá ando tomando, ya no voy, I'm not going to do that anymore.
Y mira,
No
yo no
poder.
pensaba que me iba a terminar esta.
Ya te la
Saludcita,
terminaste.
estuvo riquísima, the chamoy, the tropical chamoy michelada. Thank you, Estrella Jalisco, that was bomb.
¿Y tú, Irene, qué tal tu drink?
It's hecka strong. It's like a LaCroix with or LaCroix or how do you say that word?
No sé, pero
LaCroix with tequila. It's hella strong. Like
Oh, dang.
taking it easy over here.
I knew
Yeah.
it. It's a smile, Irene. That smile that you were like, it's good. Se notaba que you were like, it's
Every
just so
time I
strong.
drink it, I'm like, oh, every single time. He's telling me to do that.
Yeah.
I'm drinking right now. Like,
ponle más ¿cómo se dice? Sparkling water.
my husband's funny though. Me trae the extra, and he's like, here, para que le pongas más. Tiene un chorritito. I'm like, oh my god, my sweetheart. But anyway, that was really sweet of him to make it.
Yeah.
He knew we were drinking.
Yeah, pues saludcita y viva México, chulas.
Salud.
Viva Mexico. Salud.
Saludcita.
Saludcita. Chin chin.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Have a good rest of your Friday and weekend, and ojalá que puedan hacer todo lo que tengan que hacer este weekend y que también, which is important, tengan tiempo para relajarse and to take a break so that we can get our week started with energy and something that we always we always talk about, like take care of ourselves. Take care of ourselves because otherwise we can't take care of others. So with that, chicas, that's a wrap. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing
Bravo.
space. Bravo. And as you know, if you want to learn more about our coaching services or sign up for the Guilt Free Squad monthly group sessions, our website is leveluplatina.com. You can book your assessment so you can find out more about the one-on-one coaching y también everything that we're doing, events. Our gear también that's on for sale there. And if you're a small business and you want to promote your business on our podcast, hop on over to our site to purchase your shout out. And we have amazing affiliates right now. So if you're on our website and then you see, who we're affiliated right now with, we're with Macy's, with Boppy, with SodaStream if you enjoy your sparkling water, Rael, y también Mario Badesco, among others. So if you want to support our business, hop on over to our website. And if these are products that you're already buying, click the link below so that you can make your purchases. So gracias, chulas, por conectarse el día de hoy. And enjoy your October. Besos.
Besitos. Enjoy your
Bravo. Besos.
Welcome October.
Welcome October. Que se venga.
Welcome.
Hasta
Besitos.
luego.
Hasta luego.